It's January, which means it is winter for a lot of people, myself included. So what better way to help you get through the dregs of winter than to watch some depressing movies with snow in them, right? I'm going to go for some lesser known movies here. If you haven't seen any of these classics, then, certainly start there. Their reputation precedes them. But if you need some more snow movies, then I'll drop a few here. I won't name any holiday movies since we're, past that. We're past the joy part of the year. And these movies won't take place entirely in a snowy winter, but at least an impactful, significant, important part of the film will be snow related. And they're in no particular order, just whatever order I wrote them down. Number 2, The Ascent. You may have heard of Come and See, which is one of the most famous war films. But did you know that the director's wife, Larissa Shepitko, was a formidable director in her own right? The Ascent is the best known work of her formidable but tragically short career. It's a tight and powerful film that focuses on the emotional weight facing some Soviet soldiers. I say it's tight not just because of the efficiency in the movie, but also for the shooting style that frames faces so well and emphasizes the emotions. And it's reminiscent of The Passion of Joan of Arc in a certain way. It's a wonderful film. It's not a light one, and it is one of the best war films ever made. And it is replete with snow. Number 3, Marketa Lazarova. This may be the hardest sell of the 8 movies I'm going to talk about, but I'll give it a shot. It's a nearly 3-hour Czech medieval epic, and an unconventional one at that. It's got a number of different unique stylistic flourishes. At times it creates a somewhat surreal, grandiose feeling with its decisions that I wouldn't normally associate with a type of film, but like I said, at times it does, enhance the atmosphere, and it certainly makes it a unique type of film in this sort of subgenre, whatever that is. It creates this snapshot of time period convincingly, and it has plenty of snow. It's a movie about family. What more could you want? Number 4, Black Mountain Side. Maybe this will come across like a backhanded compliment, but I do mean it positively. So for this movie, you can kind of picture The Thing's aspirations, then kind of strip away a little bit of the technical proficiency, a little bit of the acting skill. And despite having a little bit less, I think you've still got a lot of what makes The Thing so good, plus the benefit of a movie that's really like trying to do something special and going for ambition. It's got the same sort of paranoia, the same deal of an unknown threat of like a similar quality. It's got cosmic horror, but a different type of take on it. I love so many choices it makes that I'm willing to forgive some of the ambition that doesn't quite work out, some of the decisions that, are feel a little bit iffier. So it's not the most consistent movie, but I do love the main villain scene in the movie, which is one of my favorites in a horror movie. And this is set entirely in snow. Tons of snow. All the snow you could possibly want. Number 5, On Dangerous Ground. Obviously gotta include some noir. Dangerous Ground deals with a detective who is disillusioned with the world, and due to behavioral issues, he receives a special assignment which takes him out into the country and challenges his cynical, bitter view of the world. Structurally, it's a kind of surprising movie. It dedicates a lot of its time to setup, which I think is not a complaint. That's a benefit with the way it's executed. But the main set piece is set out in the countryside, in the snow. Tons of it, lots of nice scenery, and it additionally gives us maybe the best snowplow scene I've ever seen in a movie. Fair amount of snow, not the entire thing, but a good amount of snow. Number 6, Sator. This could have the least amount of snow of any movie on this short list. It's a super slow horror film with what I would call a unique style of characterization. To me, it kind of feels like it characterizes the main character through other people rather than him directly, because he doesn't talk much. But I love the style. It's a beautiful film, beautiful nature shots, and of course, snow as well. Some really fantastic looking snow landscapes. Awesome opening scene, unnerving horror narrative device, and it's one of my favorite horror movies, period. Not a ton of snow, but again, comes in at an important point, and it's spectacular. Number 7, The Outlaw and His Wife. This is another movie that's relatively light on snow. It comes up in a couple spots, and again, some of the best scenes in the movie. I think Victor Sjöström is the best silent director, and the snow in the film kind of works as like this culmination of hardship and indignities of humanity. It's a story about crime and love and humanity's lack of compassion towards itself, towards other humans. Sjöström uses such great emotional storytelling, even at this early stage in cinema's history. It's full of atmosphere. It's got great natural locations. And I think it's got wonderfully poetic language in the intertitle as well. I think sometimes, as much as I love a lot of silent films, there are times where the intertitles kind of break up the flow in a movie, right? Because you kind of have to pause the conversation to read. But I think in this case, the way these things are worded is really an asset. I mean, it kind of feels like you're watching alongside a poem. Not a ton of snow, but again, snow scenes are the best in the movie. Number 8, By the Law. I think this is the best snow movie that I've seen so far. And as an added endorsement, Robert Eggers named this as an influence on The Lighthouse. So this is directed by Lev Kuleshov of The Kuleshov Effect. You can see the hallmark of Soviet montage in this film, and it works so well with this urgent sort of emotion and uncertainty that the film creates. It really helps hammer home the harshness of the environment and all the isolation that people feel. Again, not full of snow. Some of the best moments in the film are in the dead of winter, with everyone locked in, hiding from the elements. And there is one specific outdoor snow scene, which is fantastic. You really feel the environment. Everything feels so cold and dangerous. Like, you feel like the people are about to die of exposure the whole time. At least I did. One thing to note, I think this film is best with Franz Reiseker's score, and it's more electronic. And to me, when I watched it for the first time, I was kind of surprised that was the choice. Because, the more modern feel feels like it might clash with the silent film era. But I think it works fantastically. So I would recommend that score if you have the choice. So those are some favorite snow movies of mine. If you have any more suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the video.